We all know the trend is your friend. But what if we didn't know if we were going up or if we were coming back down? In this video, I'm going to help you spot that one point that changes everything. As an investor, you're probably overwhelmed with data, good and bad news about companies, numbers going up and down. You've probably seen millions of YouTube videos recommending you to use either the MACD, the relative strength indicator, or the Fibonacci retracement. This information you're getting is overwhelming. We need a simple strategy to figure out what's really going on here. One method to really help grow your portfolio. And that method is the volume indicator. Retail investors don't move markets. Sure, you can have exceptions like the GameStop rally, but that will always end up backfiring. Institutional investors are really the ones driving stock prices and the market. For the first example, let's take you back to February 2020 pre-COVID. This white line here represents the average volume, and these red and green bars represent the total daily volume. As you can see, there was 7 straight days of institutional selling, and the market then proceeded to decline in a big way. Retail investors don't have enough money to cause these big movements. It's the institutions that are causing these huge movements in the market. Here's another example in November 2007. You had 3 straight days of above average selling. And in case you even missed that, in January 2008, you had 4 straight days of institutional selling. After that, the market proceeded to fall about 50%. Institutions, aka smart money, are the ones driving the market. Basically, if you want to make money, then you need to follow them. You might be thinking that this is something we can only figure out with indexes. You can actually spot these trends in individual stocks too. Let's look at Cava in November of last year when it hit its highest price ever. The stock went up all the way to 172 that day and came back down all the way to 147. That was a big sign to tell you to sell the stock. Basically, the stock moved only 1% with a huge amount of volume. As you can tell, this volume for the daily volume was about 13 million shares, and the average daily volume was about 3 million. So we were over 4 times the amount of average volume. And to have the stock price only move a total of about 1% was a big signal to tell you that the institutions were getting out of this stock, and it was time to sell. This is something I would actually watch out for in Palantir stock. If you're a Palantir shareholder, the stock looks pretty overbought, but I would watch out for a day like we saw in Cava, when there was a huge amount of volume and the price didn't move that much. So far we haven't seen that yet, but we have seen a couple of big sell days with a lot of volume. Again, you guys can do this anytime. All you have to do is go to TradingView. I would set down the time frame to daily, and then all I use here is the average volume indicator. So just search up average volume here, and I just use this one, average volume at time. That helps you give this, again, this line is the average volume, and these bars represent the daily volume. So whenever you see a huge difference between the line and the bar, then that's when you know that something's going on with the volume. What we need to understand is that heavy daily volume distribution without further upside progress usually means institutions are selling, and you should get out, just like in the example we saw for Cava. When looking at indexes, on the other hand, if you see 3 to 6 days of high volume selling with lower stock prices, then you know institutions are selling, and that's also a sign that you should sell. Here, I broke it down into two parts so it's easy to understand. So it's a good sign and the market's going up when either the heavy volume with large increase in price, or you have low volume while the price is pretty much staying the same. On the other hand, it's a bad sign and the market's going down either when there's heavy volume with no change in price, or several days of large volume with decrease in price. This is a concept that's kind of hard to understand, so I would recommend watching this video again and also doing your own research so that you can really figure out what's going on, because volume is something that's very important and that you should definitely pay attention to.